Now, speaking of a small state with a Republican, ladies and gentlemen, this is John Thune, the majority leader in the Senate. He's from the state of South Dakota, which has I think has the 48th highest, 48th lowest, 48th lowest GDP in the country. Out of 50 states, it's 48 in its output. It's got a population about a third the size of Chicago, the entire fucking state, and it gets 2 senators all to its fucking lonesome. 2. Somebody, I would love to ask somebody from North Dakota, South Dakota, I'd like to ask them this kind of a question. What the ever-loving hell? How do you look in the mirror and say we need to be fiscally responsible when the federal tax dollars are paying your salary and you represent a state that is mostly antelope and coal mines and there's barely anybody in it? Why should a suburb have 2 senators? Because that's what it is. A lot of these states are suburbs of real states. Jesus. Yeah, it's about 4 blocks of Manhattan. It's exactly right. So this is for all those folks, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. This is for all those folks that, yeah, he does look tired. It's rough being him right now. This is for all those folks that say the Democrats aren't doing anything. They're not doing anything. And that's largely because you don't watch enough C-SPAN. But on top of that, you'll see that occasionally you'll see Crockett say something. You'll see, Moskowitz, or you'll see Dan Goldman say something, or you'll see Schiff say something, or whatever. You'll see these people do stuff when little snippets, but they're there every day, all day, doing this stuff. And I want to give you, this is like he's providing us with a little Whitman sampler of what he's up against with the Democrats in the Senate.
Mr. President, in order to place the bill on the calendar under the provision of Rule 14, I would object to further proceeding.
Objections heard. The item will be placed on the calendar.
Mr. President, before I begin, I want to mention longtime Supreme Court Justice David Souter, who died on Thursday. My thoughts and prayers are with him.
He skips past this.
I look forward to seeing this bill. On the Genius Act, Democrats abruptly ended the Pope. I'm very happy for them.
Okay, so he says that about that, and he said about David Souter, and he talks about the Pope. Now we get to the actual issue.
I look forward to seeing what this son of the Midwest brings to the Catholic Church and to the world.
The Pope.
Mr. President, on Thursday afternoon, Democrats abruptly ended extensive bipartisan work on the Genius Act and filibustered the Senate's attempt to move this bill. Democrats, Did
you know that? Guys, did you know that? Tara, did you know that? Did you guys know that? Did you know they filibustered another bill? Okay.
Say who had voted for the bill in committee inexplicably chose to vote against it here on the Senate floor.
Huh. So they voted for it to go through committee, but you did not have their votes to vote for the full thing. That's interesting, because amendments are meaningful, and you promised that there would be an amendment process, and then there wasn't, and you were like, well, then fuck you. Maybe that was the explanation that is inexplicable to you. Perhaps.
Mr. President, that's pretty difficult to understand.
No, it's not. Stuff goes out of committee all the time with the idea that once it reaches the floor, there'll be open debate about it, there'll be all kinds of stuff, and then you try to crowbar it fucking through because you think you can force the vote, and it doesn't work. Because you thought you were counting their votes without their modifications that would happen. Because they're outnumbered in the committee anyways, and it would be passed on a party line vote. So they'll vote for it, but with the idea that they're showing comity and they want to work with you. And so they're going to, when the bill hits the floor.
Providing a regulatory framework for stablecoins is a bipartisan issue. The bill is the product of a bipartisan negotiation. And the vote in the Banking Committee was definitely bipartisan. Which leads you to wonder, of course,
what happened between the vote in the Banking Committee and Trump's fucking dick coin deal with the Qatari royal family? Oh, wait.
Of course, if this was really about the bill at all.
or about the fact that Trump just did a $2 billion deal with his stablecoin as a way of circumventing the U.S. dollar and avoiding laws about the Logan Act and, about the emoluments clause, rather.
Or if this was about wanting to deny President Trump, or Republicans more generally, a legislative victory, which might be...
Well, if it's bipartisan, why would it be a Republican legislative victory? Why wouldn't it be a victory for the American people?
Nice for Democrats, but leave stablecoin issuers and Americans who use stablecoins in the...
Oh, you mean human traffickers and pimps and pushers and violent extremists and televangelists with mistresses kept in high-rise apartment buildings? Sorry, you were saying something about some reason you'd need a currency that isn't trackable like U.S. funds to buy stuff normally back and forth because everybody needs that? Sure.
Difficult spot that they're currently in. But unfortunately, it's pretty clear that obstructing, not legislating, is the Democrats' priority right now.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, they kind of got limited options, but sure. Yeah, I think that's exactly it. By the way, Democrats nailed it.
Mr. President, until Democrats come to their senses and allow us to proceed to the Genius Act, we're going to turn to nominations, another area where, unfortunately, Democrats have made obstruction the name of the game.
Boom! I would like to, again, everybody who's like, the Democrats aren't doing nothing. Ta-da! All day, every fucking day.
I certainly understand that Democrats are not going to support all the president's nominees. That's their prerogative as senators.
It's my prerogative. Sorry.
But the way that they are drawing out this process on even non-controversial nominations.
Huh. Are they now? So they're just drawing the process out. They're just slowing the whole system, are they? It sounds downright McConnell, if I do say so myself, but...
is serving no one.
Well... I feel served, personally.
7 out of the 58 of the president's civilian nominees have required cloture votes, an unprecedented number for recent administrations.
Huh. You don't say. So what you're telling me is Democrats, every time you guys put somebody forward, even if they're non-controversial, even if they know this person's better than the alternative or isn't as crazy and maggoty as Trump might want, but they might be effective and stuff or whatever, even if they would vote for him because compared to the fucking hair on fire lunatics, the Pam Bondis and the Kash Patels of the world, these people are pretty lukewarm nobodies that are just for standard, perfunctory roles. They're not going to fuck up the entire country. They don't even have the power to do it. And even those folks, Democrats are slow rolling those sons of bitches every chance they get. I've just... Can I get an amen from the chat room? Can I get a amen? Because there seems to be this idea out there surrounding, there you go, everybody around, in the Democratic world, like, they're not. No, just because you don't see it doesn't mean it ain't being done. And it's not even like the hidden stuff, right? They're doing it in the open. It's just not getting to, nightly television. It's not getting its, even Maddow can't cover all of this shit. Amen. All right. Amen. God bless you. Yes. So I just want to clarify that, because there seems to be a lot of people who don't think this is happening. This happened. Let me just play that last little bit for him.
The 58 of the president's civilian nominees,
57 out of 58
have required cloture votes.
Have required cloture votes.
An
57 out of 58.
Unprecedented number for recent administrations. And of those 57 nominees, 17 received 60 or more votes in support on their final confirmation vote. In other words...
Right. Even though they were going to get 60 votes or more, the Democrats slowed everything down with every procedure they could without shutting down the government, just shy of totally chucking a monkey wrench in the gears.
Support from a number of Democrats, as well as Republicans.
Yes, it would.
And yet, Democrats dragged out those nominations in the same way they dragged out the nominations of individuals that they universally opposed.
I just want to be in the back of that room, just. Excellent, 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 excellent. Glad to hear it. This is good. Yeah.
Not a single one
No.
of President Trump's civilian nominees has been confirmed by unanimous consent or voice vote.
Not a fucking one. Even the ones that were passed by 60 votes. All of them had to go completely through the longest procedure you could possibly put forward when you're in the minority. Right?
Again, something entirely unprecedented.
Ouch. Boo, fuckity hoo.
In recent years. No other president since at least 1977 has failed to have civilian nominees confirmed by unanimous consent or voice vote at this point of his administration.
Okay, so basically, nobody's been this big of a dick to a president since you guys were a dick to Jimmy Carter. Fuck you. This is for Jimmy, bitches. I don't know what to tell you. Right? That's for Jimmy. It's like the inaugural, like, we'll call this getting the Jimmy.
Except for President Trump in his first term in office.
Again, so.
And as I said, this is serving no one, Mr. President.
Again, I feel served. I do. Thank you, Alyosher.
Nor is this going to prevent the president's nominees from getting confirmed.
Well, but it will slow down the roll of other shit. And if there's something terrible coming, you know, if you can put that off as long as possible so that people get a grip on, you know, what a piece of shit he is and he starts to lose favor with his own voters, then it gets harder for him to get the harder stuff through that he was maybe planning for later on this year. So it serves, yeah, a lot.
Democrats can drag out nominations all they want.
Thank you. Okay, everybody, we're going to drag out nominations all we want. So just for the record, we got permission from the honorable gentleman from the suburb of South Dakota, who is yet to answer that deep and abiding question, that philosophical question that I think we're all wondering. Why the fuck do we need 2 Dakotas? Anybody? Anybody?
But we're going to fill out the president's administration and ensure that his nominees get into place so that they can do the job and that he can do the job that he was elected to do.
You don't seem excited about him doing the job. And he can do the job that he was elected to do. Fuck.
I'd like to do this the easy way and confirm non-controversial nominees expeditiously.
How about you can expeditiously go fuck yourself? How about that?
In batches. For example,
Batches? Batches? We don't need no stinking batches. Fuck off with your batches.
and maybe even by unanimous consent. That would give us more time to legislate and give members more time to spend in their states.
Yeah, you seem real excited to get home.
But if we have to do this the hard way, we will.
Okay. My guess is we are going to have to.
Moon River.
The hard way.
We're going to get the president's team in place. So I guess, Mr. President, Democrats have some decisions to make.
Already made them. Thanks. Thanks. There's plenty of seats. Take any one of them.
I really hope that they'll come back to the table on the Genius Act.
Yeah, guess not.
And I hope that they will cease their pointless obstruction of bipartisan nominees.
Well, don't get your dick caught in the hope door on your way out.
But I guess we'll have to see.
Yes. See you next Tuesday.
Mr. President, I yield the floor, and I suggest the absence of a quorum.
The clerk will call the roll.
We're getting the fuck out of here. I'm done. You done? Fuck this. I'm gonna go yell at a fucking field of trees. The Genius Act is their stupid like acronym name for the for their stablecoin bill. It's really annoying. You're gonna vote against Genius? If the okay, yeah. Yeah, this is they call it the well, where the fuck is his name? The Guiding and Establishing National Innovation for U.S. Stablecoins Act. That's what it's called. Oh, God. What a bunch of assholes. Yes, the Genius Act. This act may be cited as the Guiding and Establishing National Innovation for U.S. Stablecoins Act of 2025. Oh, God. Derp. Oh, my God. So congrats to all the Democrats who stiffed this nonsense. In this act, there's the Bank Secrecy Act. Gee, I can't imagine what that would be good for people who are drug traffickers, human traffickers, or being bribed or whatever. There's a board, there's a comptroller. There's a comptroller regulated entity. There's a corporation. The term corporation means the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. All right, the FDIC. Digital asset. Here's the word distributed ledger, which is your little bank, your digital wallet that you carry your coins in. Federal Qualified Non-Bank Payment Stablecoin Issuer. The term Federal Qualified Non-Bank Payment Stablecoin Issuer means a non-bank entity, sure, approved by the Federal Payment Stablecoin Regulator pursuant to Section 5 to issue the payment stablecoins, institutions affiliated by party, insured depository. So it establishes a bunch of shit. The monetary value of a stablecoin is that it's pegged to the dollar. That's how they do it, which is the funniest thing about the fucking BRICS coin. And I'm like, how the fuck do you have a competing coin with the dollar if it's pegged to the fucking dollar? You got to make sure the dollar stays strong or your stupid stablecoin dies, stupid. Yeah. All my coins are unstable. I don't think I have one in here. Hold on. I'll don't. Just go beat one. Yeah, there you go. This is. And yet, Ben's. Yeah. That's the. Let's see if we can get this here. That's my stable coin. There it is. My coins are so loose. I'm sorry. They're around for a reason. This is true. It is very nice, and it glows in the dark.